It's 7:10. As President-elect Donald Trump puts together his cabinet, he's also getting briefed on national security matters, including classified information and ongoing operations and investigations. The challenge, of course, is keeping secrets secret. Joining us now live is former federal prosecutor Marc Miller. Marc, what kinds of obstacles, technologically speaking, are we encountering with the new president that comes into office? And specifically, is it even harder when you have a president coming in who is, really not used to how government works in these things?
Well, thanks for having me. I think you kind of zeroed in on probably one of the chief concerns, which is when you're bringing in people from outside of government service, they might not be as familiar. And so probably the biggest challenge in my book is training people on the appropriate use and handling and retention of classified information, because the rules certainly don't change, nor are they relaxed.
What are some of those rules?
Well, it certainly just relates to, first of all, having some sort of a clearance, the appropriate clearance, depending on the type of information. And it's important to note that you can have an interim or temporary clearance, and that's likely what's happening in this situation for people who are coming into government service. You can get that temporary or interim clearance prior to completing a full background information. So really what we're talking about is handling that classified information in a facility that's classified or over a communication system that's approved for it.
Okay, let me drill down into that just a little bit more so I understand. Can, for example, President-elect Trump grant security clearances to anyone he wants to? I'm hearing that, his son-in-law right now, for example, is sitting in on security briefings already. Does the president drive that, or does the security apparatus and other things drive that?
It's really driven by the security apparatus, and there's a process involved for anyone who needs a clearance to do their job. So I suspect that is what's going on. There's certainly no ability at this stage for an executive order to be used. And so most of the clearances across the federal government are handled through the Office of Personnel Management or the Department of Defense. That would probably cover the vast majority of them.
Marc, Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought there.
Well, I was going to say, as to, his son-in-law potentially sitting in on briefings, there's kind of two issues at play there. There's the security clearance issue, and in the regulations and most of the guidelines regarding who's eligible, there's nothing in there about your relationship to anyone. It's more about your loyalty to the United States, perhaps your financial condition, things of that nature. The real issue with that would come relating to a job appointment where there are some anti-nepotism laws that are in place.
All right, Marc, we're going to have to leave it there. Appreciate your time tonight.
You got it.
That's Marc Miller. He served 10 years as a federal prosecutor and works now as general counsel for McCann Cyber Investigations.